I'm the voice that shouts in the night. I'm the prisoner who speaks from the digital cell. I am Darkwing. No, I'm actually not Darkwing Duck, Mr. Cruz. And here today we're going to talk about the Persian Empire. And this is just a quick intro into the Persian Empire. We'll kind of just scan over them a little bit, leading into the Greco-Persian War. Uh, while we're talking about the Greeks, we've already discussed a little bit about the Greeks so far. So let's learn about who Persia is so that we can find out what happens in the Greco-Persian War. All right, Persia was, or today would be southwest Iran. Okay, and I'll show you a map here in just a second. They were warriors and nomads who herded cattle. So they were very strong people, uh, and they were nomadic, meant they traveled from place to place, and they were herders. They herded cattle. Well, in 559 BC, Cyrus the Great unites Persia, uh, and Cyrus takes a very small Persian empire, and he greatly increases it. He begins capturing a lot of the places in Mesopotamia, like Babylon, uh, most of Mesopotamia, Asia Minor, Syria, Canaan, the Phoenicians, Egypt, India, Thrace. He goes on a conquering spree. You even see, if you read the Bible, in the book of Daniel, it mentioned Cyrus the Great. He's the one who frees Daniel from his captivity uh, from the Chaldeans there in Babylon, because at that time the Chaldeans were ruling Babylon, not the Babylonians, sometimes referred to as the Neo-Babylonians. Um, the reign of Cyrus, and some people argue that the Persian Empire was one of the greatest empires out there. They didn't believe in slavery. Had a very different system than the Greeks and everyone else. And as we'll see, the Greco-Persian Wars actually lead to what helped decide how we became today. The world, I think, between that battle between the Greeks and the Persians, or the wars, quite a few battles, um, led to help develop how society would come. If the Persians would have defeated them, the Persian Empire and their belief systems would have spread on throughout, uh, probably throughout Europe, and would have influenced the world more today than the Greeks, who did win out. So this is a very important point in history here, because the winner of this goes on and influences the future for thousands of years. Um, by the time Cyrus hits the height of his reign, uh, Persian Empire equals the size of the United States. And he began building roads throughout his empire so that people could easily travel from place to place. He could get, if he needed to be somewhere, he could get there much faster if there was a road built. And capital was Susa. Here you go. You can kind of see. If you look here, this is when Cyrus unites uh, Persia. You can see then how he goes on and starts conquering everything. You can see leading into Egypt over here, Canaan, Mesopotamia. So he greatly increased from here to here. Uh, so he conquered a lot, and then you can see that it goes on into Greece, to Egypt, and beyond. It becomes a very large empire under Darius, and you can see this is the royal road laid out here. Here's the capital. Uh, you can see Babylon. We've talked about the capital of the Assyrians, which was Nineveh, Jerusalem. So you see all these places that we've talked about, and way over here, here's Athens and Sparta. Uh, and this giant empire is going to butt heads with this place right here. And that's this giant battle that we have coming up, and we'll find out as we get to this Greco-Persian War. The Persian Empire, Darius goes on to take over in 521 BC, and he reorganizes the government. He breaks it down. It's such a large empire that he winds up breaking it down into 20 provinces, kind of like we have states. He broke it down into 20 provinces, satrapies, um, and he had created a large standing army of professional soldiers. Places like Greece, for example, with the exclusion of Sparta, most of their warriors were farmers and merchants and so forth who picked up the sword when they had to. In Persia, this army that he created was very large and it was a professional. That is what they did. They were soldiers, kind of like the Spartans. No. Now, they weren't as hardcore as the Spartans, starting training at 7 years old, but that's what they did all the time, was train. And he had a special uh, group of them. There were 10,000 of them that were specially trained to guard the king. And these are known as the immortals. And you see them in the movie 300. They have their masks and they come up and uh, but the immortals were considered a pretty bad mamma jamma kind of group. They come in and whoop, pow, boom, bang, pow, and whoop up some tail. Uh, the Persians believed in Zoroastrianism, which was their religion. Uh, they were a monotheistic religion. Okay. Um, and they believed that there was one God who was the creator of all things, that is a force for good. And that this God gave people a choice to be good or evil. All right, so that's a little insight into the Persian Empire. And now we'll be heading into our look at the Greco-Persian Wars. So until then, still waiting on somebody to break me out of this digital prison. Deuces!